the certain company produces only two products, P and Q. So we have only P, only Q, and the total number of units should be P plus Q. That's the first thing. The last week, the number of units
Yes.
produced P. So first of all, let's just write for the last week. For last week, the total units of P produced by the company was 10% of the total number of units produced that week. So let's assume that the total units produced last week was 100. So P was just 10 units. That means Q was 90.
90.
This week, the number of units Q produced by the number of units of Q produced by the company. Okay, now this week, the number of units of Q produced by the company was same as the last week. So again 90. But the number of units of P produced increased, so that the number of units of P produced during the last 2 weeks, let's assume that total units of P produced was X, where X is greater than 10, because this week the number of units produced P increased, and that was 20% of the total number of units produced during 2 weeks, which means that we can say that 10 plus X is the total number of units of P should be equal to 20% of 100 plus 90 plus X. That's the only thing that we have to be careful about, that the total production of the 2 weeks was 100 plus 90 plus X. Now we have to do it. This cancels at 5 times, so we have 50 plus 5x is equal to 190 plus x, so 4x is equal to 140, x equal to 70 by 2, which is 35. So now we know that x should be 35, so 190 plus x should be equal to 125. The question also says if the total of 9,000 units was produced during the last 2 weeks. That means according to us, what we have 225 units is actually equal to 9,000 units in actual. The question is how many more units of P were produced this week than the last week. What is the differential of P here? 35 minus 10, because P produced 25 additional units than last week. If 225 is equal to 9,000, then 25 will be equal to how much? That is what our question is. So 9,000 upon 225 times 25. So that gives us 1,000. So the answer should be C option.
1000.